it was like Janelle's mom told me, hey, you better cool this. We might have gotten some bad places as a family because I always envied those families that could actually do the PDA.
Yeah. Was it uncomfortable when he would be demonstrative and show some PDA?
It was always uncomfortable and awkward. It still is now when I see it with him and Robyn. It's like, because I feel like now it's almost like I'm throwing it in your face, and I don't like that.
Hey besties, it's Aria. So Kody and Robyn pretty much got excommunicated from the family, Kody's version, due to some PDA drama, and just made me wonder, like, when did these people last even share a room where that would be an issue? Like, Meri and Janelle literally don't even see them anymore. Then I thought, wait, was Kody getting all handsy with Robyn at Garrison's funeral? Because I remember he had his hand on her leg, and it honestly felt weird and out of place. And now there's this whole conversation around PDA, and what I've learned after watching this family for years is that none of them could ever really handle it, especially not the women. If things were bad between them and Kody, they couldn't even bear the sight of him being intimate with some other wife. So when all this came up, I was like, Suki girl, why are you not asking the actual question here? Like, if this is the consensual lifestyle and everybody wants to live this way, why is it such an issue when one wife gets a little bit of affection from the husband? Couldn't it just be okay if it's actually consensual? Or is it because they're so unhappy and they just can't stand the sight of it? And that's when it hit me again. This entire thing was never rooted in actual consent. It's been coercion all along. In this iteration of fundamentalist polygamy, they're instructed that their purpose is to marry an old man with several wives in order to enter heaven, to produce spirit babies into the world, and create the husband's kingdom. She isn't there to be loved, she's there to serve, and that's the root of this family. Kody essentially stated that his marriage to Christine was arranged and that he never found her attractive. And really, this occurs all the time in polygamy. He even suggested he would not have married some of these women at all if he didn't require 3 wives to enter heaven. And then, at last, he gets his so-called diesel jeans model, aka Robyn, and he treats her like the crown jewel of his achievement. He literally told her that she's his achievement because of how gorgeous she looks to him. But what's insane is that all the previous relationships were crumbling way before Robyn came along. And then they go and pitch this show to TLC like, look at us, we're so happy, polygamy works. But behind the scenes, Meri was on the verge of leaving Kody right before the show even aired, in 2008. By 2009, right when Robyn was coming into the family, Meri and Kody were in counseling. Janelle had been gone from Kody for 5 years and only returned in 2006, and even then the two of them were still just clinging by a thread. Christine insisted that things were already not good with Kody prior to Robyn's arrival, so by the time they were selling this as a joyful plural marriage, all of the women were thoroughly unhappy. That says it all. Every single aspect of Sister Wives was constructed on a falsehood. It wasn't some blissful family selling a lovely lifestyle. It was women.
Because I feel like now it's almost like I'm throwing it in your face, and I don't like that. Don't throw it in my face. Just be you. Love her the best that you can. Don't be a jerk to me about it.
There was family rules or family culture that was already there before I came along. It was like no, affection, and no sweet talk, and no sweet looks across the room. It just was it was really weird.
I keep wondering, when exactly did Meri see Kody and Robyn throwing it in her face? Because honestly, outside of what we've seen on the show, I'm not sure it even happened. The only recent time Meri was around them was that Christmas visit when she told them she was moving, and they didn't seem affectionate at all then. If anything, they looked tense and awkward. The only public moment I've seen where Kody and Robyn showed any kind of physical touch was in the photos from Garrison's funeral, and even that felt strange given the context. So, if Meri feels like she's having affection thrown in her face, it makes me wonder, is she still deeply hurt over the divorce? Is she still carrying that emotional weight, that anger or sadness? And to be clear, it's completely understandable if she's not ready to witness them being affectionate. But then again, if she decided to leave, doesn't that signify that she left behind the expectation of being moved by that dynamic as well? Kody and Robyn are married. They can be affectionate. I just don't quite understand why it still gets under Meri's skin unless there are unresolved wounds we're not seeing. But of course, this is a relationship that spans 3 decades. There's probably a mountain of complex history and unspoken pain that still lingers. Maybe Kody really is rubbing it in, now that he doesn't have to hide his favoritism. That would honestly be so on brand for him. And from Robyn's perspective, I can also understand how she walked into a dysfunctional system and perhaps anticipated something more typical, such as kissing and hand-holding, and then was criticized for it. She even informed Suki that the other wives said to her, "You need to adapt to our culture, and that is all you need to know." Robyn committed to a family with its dynamics and rules, yet the tension had already been baked in. She didn't conform, and to be truthful, perhaps she never even attempted to.
Like you didn't have a voice or say in the family.
Oh, I was told I didn't have a say. I was told that I needed to conform to what they were doing because I was trying really hard not to, rock the boat too. But
Can you share who told you that?
I'd just rather not point fingers.
Let's be real. Robyn wasn't introduced to the Brown family to revolutionize the culture. The family already had a set dynamic, and she had to work to fit into that, not redefine it. Becoming a member of that type of family meant compromise, not dominance. In the society they existed in, Robyn didn't possess greater rights than any of the other women. None of them actually had rights. She knew entering that family that she wasn't the lawful wife, that she was another spiritual partner in a world where women were there to support Kody, bear children, and assist him in building his so-called highway to heaven. That's all. But Robyn upset the apple cart from the start, not because she didn't get it, but because she didn't want it. That's my point of view. She didn't fit in, she played games. She began to shift rules from the very first day, keeping secrets, doing dirty stuff behind the scenes, and demanding things that didn't align with how the family had always worked. She was getting time with Kody she hadn't earned, like a 4th day before they were married yet, and removing him from the rest of the family for weekend visits. She didn't join the Brown family, she tried to reshape it in her image. So when she now frames herself as the victim, I'm not buying it. Blaming the other women when this isn't what they signed up for just shows Robyn never truly wanted plural marriage. She wanted Kody. And honestly, that's what she's always had. Kody, all to herself.
The last time Robyn and I showed PDA with the family, we got kicked out.
You got kicked out?
I'm not going there.
Okay.
Yeah, they with us bad. And boy, it cost me dearly.
Explain. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's a story that just cannot be told.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just there's something so vitally detrimental to your life, you're just not going to talk about it.
Is it recent or is it?
That's just not done.
Here's my take, and go with me on this, because when it comes to Kody, we're dealing with someone who constantly deflects and rarely takes responsibility. He's a textbook narcissist, and we've seen that behavior play out over and over again. So, when he recently claimed that the last time he and Robyn showed PDA in front of the family, they got kicked out, my mind immediately went to the only time we've seen the entire family together in recent memory, Garrison's funeral. Not just the funeral, but also the National Guard Memorial in Las Vegas. That's the last time they were all physically present in one space. And at that memorial, we saw Kody with his arm around Robyn, his hand on her leg. He was stuck to her side, appearing more interested in comforting or being affectionate toward Robyn than in bonding with any of his bereft children. Throughout the actual burial, Kody didn't show any sort of warmth or comfort to his children. There wasn't any hugging, no asking how they were doing, nothing. And when Logan went to assist his dad up from the graveyard after he buried Garrison's urn, Kody brushed him aside. The whole experience was a milestone. The body language, the stiffness, it was all really awkward. I won't broadcast any of that stuff out of respect, but it was clear that Kody didn't want to be around anyone else. McKelty even stated there were events that occurred during that period which agitated the family. Children were hurt, angry, and became even more detached because of the way Kody and Robyn acted. And so, if Kody claims the last time they were kicked out for showing PDA was when they were cuddling up to Robyn at the funeral or memorial, and if that is indeed true, then absolutely, it was completely inappropriate for him to be getting cozy with Robyn during that period of such deep sorrow. On top of that, the fact that the family specifically forbade Kody and Robyn from filming those moments, and they did it anyway. They weren't welcomed there by some of the children, particularly due to Garrison's own emotions. Garrison didn't want Robyn at his funeral, and he didn't want Kody there either. And yet there they were, because Kody, being the father, felt it his right to be there. And instead of respecting his son's dying wishes or being truly empathetic to his sad children, he turned the entire experience into something about himself and Robyn. And let's not forget, they were requested not to attend, and yet they still arrived. So now, in typical Kody fashion, instead of being accountable for overstepping and for turning Garrison's death into a performance, he's spinning the narrative. He's now saying, well, the family was upset because we were affectionate. No, Kody, they were upset because you didn't listen. They were upset because you disregarded boundaries, disrespected your son's dying wishes, and turned the funeral into something about you and your marriage, not your child. And it's worse still that he's now taking the time to frame himself and Robyn as the victims. Like it was just too horrible to be kicked out of the family for loving his wife. But once more, he brought it up. He's the Browns never had a problem with affection in itself. Because if he had any sense of self-awareness, he'd know Kody that this has nothing to do with intimate with Robyn, the family's most polarizing member, during the family's worst single pain. That wasn't PDA. It was emotional insensitivity. And then there are the kids. They've indicated that Kody and Robyn's behavior at the funeral left irreparable damage. A few of them have come right out and said that there is nothing Kody can do to fix the relationship at this point. The wounds run that deep, and yet Kody sits down in a tell-all interview and spins it as, they just couldn't handle that I love my wife. He even alleged that Christine still envies Robyn. She does not. He tells Janelle and Meri that they can't bear to see him being affectionate with someone else and that he won't show any affection until they remarry. Like, what does that even say? It's deflection, plain and simple. He's refusing to deal with the very real hurt that his children are experiencing, the lack of compassion that he exhibited toward them, or the disrespecting of his late son's memory. Rather, he rewords the story so that he can avoid responsibility and safeguard his vulnerable ego. And let's be real, this is not something new that Kody does. He's always made Robyn his priority. He's always sidestepped, denied, and spun his own tale so that he is victimized. But what went down at Garrison's funeral was different. It wasn't favoritism. It was about a father who couldn't appear for his children in the most fundamental human manner, and who then attempted to monetize their sorrow. He's not fooling anyone. The family didn't exile him due to PDA. They ostracized him due to his total lack of respect, his inability to be compassionate, and his refusal to own up to his actions. And that's the portion Kody will never own up to. So when he tells us, they kicked me out for showing affection, all I hear is a man who doesn't want to look in the mirror. Because it's easier for him to say, they're jealous of our love than to know the truth, that his children are finished. The harm is done, and it's not necessarily about whom he loves, but whom he did not love the rest of. But hey, that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if it struck a chord, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.